So hi everyone, and welcome to Geotab's Marketplace Thursday. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Sue Miller, broadcast producer here at Geotab, and your host for today's session. We have two exciting solutions presenting today. So our first presentation is from Pitstop, who has been a partner with Geotab since 2019. Pitstop is a fleet maintenance software powered by AI. With maintenance expenses continuing to go up across the industry, learn how fleets can leverage affordable, predictive maintenance to get ahead of downtime and the most out of their Geotab investment. Starting us off today is Gianni Falzone, Sales Manager, and Rakeen Zakir, Customer Success Lead. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Susan. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Thank you for that introduction. We are Pitstop. The idea behind Pitstop is helping fleets leverage data to get the most out of their Geotab investment. As a company, we've been around since 2014 with a focus on driving vehicle insights using data. Our mission is to deliver powerful predictive analytics in an affordable and easy-to-use solution. To date, so far, through our data engine, we've ingested data from over 500,000 vehicles to validate our approach to fleet insights, and processed over 4.5 billion unique data points through our data engine. For some quick introductions, my name is Gianni Falzone. I've been with Pitstop for about a year now, working with new customers, pilots, and customer success. Prior to Pitstop, I've spent 5 years working in enterprise AI systems. And with me today is Rakeen. Rakeen has spent 10 years in fleets, working with some well-known names like Bell Canada. He's worked with Geotab resellers, and he's really focused on our customer success, the product, and our pilots. So, Rakeen, let me turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Gianni, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. As Gianni mentioned, that we're Pitstop, and AI and data science and fleet management is the bread and butter of our business. Half of our company is data scientists and mathematicians, and the other half is fleet management professionals such as myself. And what we've done collectively in the team is we've done a lot of voice of the customer studies across many different Geotab reseller partners, Geotab end users, and Geotab fleets. And we've recognized that regardless of which industry our fleets were falling in, most enterprise fleets and their fleet management teams are interfaced with the problems that you can see on the screen today. And what's important in fleet management's context in this environment is post-COVID, maintenance and fleet managers have faced new types of pressures in managing drivers and driver retention and driver behavior, new pressures in managing unplanned downtime, especially in an environment where vehicle part supply is limited and aftermarkets product suppliers are shorthanded at this point. And on the CapEx side, fleet managers are also struggling to buy vehicles as because OEMs are also struggling to meet the demands of the market. So it is a very topical conversation for fleet managers to understand what is the best way to serve their customers and manage their fleets and prolong the life of their vehicle assets. And when you're prolonging the life of a vehicle asset, what you're doing is the operating expenses in terms of maintenance and repair costs increase, as well as you're operating a fleet of older assets, and at any given time, you might have unhealthy assets that could potentially be problematic and impact your CapEx. These are some of the areas where our customers have voiced concerns and interest in learning more about or leverage data to improve their business. Now, having said that, Geotab on its own is an extremely powerful tool. Pitstop as a partner, we are super grateful to have the access and the knowledge of the Geotab environment and able to build our application for the Geotab customer base. The Geotab fleet managers are spending a lot of time consolidating and working on many different data parameters, ranging from GPS, fault codes, sensor data, DVIRs, and really the data points are vast and varied and address many different business challenges for the fleet managers. Having said that, it's still quite a lot of data, and you have to understand which areas of the business you want to focus on leveraging Geotab. And that's what Pitstop aims to do. This is a screenshot of one of our customers' databases where we looked at faults for over a week period for about 150 vehicles. And this is where we were able to recognize that, hey, over a weeks period, 150 vehicles generated 2,500 plus alerts, all of which could potentially be very meaningful. However, it's still a lot of data for the fleet manager or the fleet management teams to actually enact upon and engage a fleet, the vehicle driver or the maintenance team to actually alert them and raise the right level of responsiveness in their fleet. And that's what Gianni will speak about right now, how Pitstop caters to fleet management teams and helps to get ahead of this problem. Gianni?
Yeah, thank you, Rakeem. Like Rakeem was mentioning, a lot of the fleet managers that we speak to have this concept of data overload. There's a lot of data coming in, a lot of different alerts, and what they want to do is be able to consolidate that information and have a system that will help tell them which things to pay attention to when. So what we do at Pitstop is we try to what we call centralize and prioritize all of your maintenance data, and we combine that into a variety of different alert categories. So we'll enable folks to pull in their preventative maintenance schedule based on time, mileage, engine hours. We can also work with their compliance schedule around inspections, registrations, things of that nature. Like Rakeem just showed in the example, we'll also take in reactive alerts, so things around fault codes, and we also partner with third parties to pull in recall data. And then Pitstop's bread and butter is we actually develop our own algorithms processing the raw sensor data in order to predict system-specific failures or provide insights into critical systems. And then what we'll do, in addition to pulling all of that into one location, is we'll alert our customers as to which things they need to pay attention to immediately, which things are important but you have some time to address, and then which things we'll monitor but they can wait until you're going to the shop anyways. And what this allows our customers to do is get ahead of unexpected downtime and vehicle failures out on the road, but then also optimize their maintenance schedule and avoid any unnecessary shop visits. I'd like to talk a little bit more about what really makes Pitstop special, and that is our algorithms and our AI engine. So far, our AI engine has predicted over 1 million different alerts. Like I spoke about, we've connected to over 500,000 vehicles. And essentially what we'll do is we take in the raw data from the sensors from all different types of vehicles. It doesn't matter the class or the make of the vehicle. We normalize that data, and then we run it through an algorithm that's specific to specific failures. So I'd like to talk a little bit about those algorithms and how they work. So one of the key ones that I'd like to point out is our sensor health algorithm. What this does, it looks at all of the sensors on the vehicle coming from Geotab, learns the normal range and parameters for that sensor, and will alert our fleet managers to anything, any sensor that goes outside of its normal parameters, that there's something that they need to check and investigate. We'll also do failure algorithms, so things like a battery. We can start to notice battery trends up to a month out. We've actually benchmarked our model versus the one that Geotab's creating. Our data science team actually works very closely with the Geotab data science team, and we found that both of our approaches actually look at a few different things. So it's valuable to have both running at the same time. What we'll be able to do in this one is we can see a failure almost up to a month out, call that a relatively minor alert. But if we raise that alert to a critical, where we say you need to pay attention to it right now, 95% of the time that battery fails within a day. The other algorithm that I think is really interesting, and it's talks a lot to our approach, is our brake algorithm. What this does is it looks at all of the braking events within the fleet. Every time a driver steps on the brakes, we know how fast they were going, we know how quickly they slowed down. And what we can do is analyze all of your vehicles. So if you have a couple hundred vehicles or thousands of vehicles, we can tell you which ones are going through their brakes the fastest compared to all the other vehicles in the fleet, so that you can make sure to check those first. One, to make sure that the vehicle is still safe. You can do it before its normal schedule so that it doesn't get to that check and they'd be really low. And then we're always developing additional algorithms. And what this does, the ability to combine all of that data and then have alerts brought to the fleet manager of which things they need to pay attention to right away, that helps to reduce the unexpected vehicle failures, helps these fleet managers to remain in compliance by following their compliance schedule. We avoid any unnecessary shop visits where maybe you're taking a vehicle in for a relatively minor issue when it could have waited. We're also able to reduce administrative time by doing customized reports and trying to help our fleets answer difficult questions. This is a scenario where Pitstop will actually work very closely with our fleets, where we're at the point in our company's history where we can be very reactive to our customer needs. So if a customer asks for something, we're able to develop it relatively quickly and work with them directly on hard to answer questions. The other thing that we're able to do with our customers, and we've been doing this a lot, is we have a vast roadmap of things that we want to accomplish. And based on customer needs and customer wants, we're able to prioritize certain items on the roadmap. For example, in the next month, we're going to release some features around work orders that we currently don't have today. Rakeen, I think you'd like to talk about a little bit of how this can benefit resellers.
Thanks, Gianni. At Pitstop, we've spent a lot of time learning more and more about our customers. And what we've realized is that our customers recognize our Geotab reseller partners as their fleet experts. And that's what we're looking to do over the next few years. Gianni and I are spending a lot of time with our reseller partners and supporting them end-to-end in their sales process. We're doing joint marketing campaigns, joint support services, POCs, pilots, and really everything you need from a Pitstop perspective. We want to be the experts in selling and serving Pitstop to you so that your customers are happy. When we're looking at Pitstop as a solution and also Geotab partners, Geotab resellers being the experts of the telematics provider, customers recognize these businesses as not only their Geotab partner, but also additional fleet management application and services that they're looking to onboard onto their fleet. And I think this is the perfect time for fleet management teams and fleet management consultants within the Geotab reseller environments to kind of think about how they can leverage partners such as Pitstop to enable their customers to drive more value from their Geotab investment. Once a customer is procuring more than 2 or 3 solutions from a Geotab partner, the relationship becomes very sticky, consultative, and you become a 360 vendor for all matters fleet technology. This will help reduce churn and improve the average profit per unit for any Geotab partner that we've worked with and are working with. So having said that, we're with you at every step of the way. We work with our partners directly. And in fact, the first question we ask our Geotab partners is, well, Geotab customers and fleets is who is a Geotab reseller, so that we can work very closely with the Geotab resellers and understand the intimate needs of the customer and serve them the solution in the right way. Now, a little bit about what we're doing for the partners today. With our Geotab reseller partners, we've recognized that most of our partners have very interesting fleets and customers who can be very well suited for our product here. We're spiffing $500 to our partner for a qualified pilot. And in this situation, a qualified pilot is where we're serving primarily Pro or Pro Plus customers. The fleet has more than 75 vehicles. And the customers agreed to a 30-day or certain pilot to move forward with Pitstop. In this scenario, we manage the entire pilot, the process, the onboarding, the support, the training, and even the presentation for our reseller partners on your behalf. So this is a really good way for reseller reps and resellers to make quite a bit of money and help us grow our Pitstop subscriber base. Gianni.
All right. I think, Rakeen, thank you for that. If anyone has questions, we'd be happy to answer them now. We also have additional information on our Geotab Marketplace page. And if anyone would like to book time with us to review some customers or to review potential demos, do feel free to reach out to us, but we'll open the floor for questions now.
Thank you both very much for a great presentation. We do have a couple of questions. The first one is, can you talk a bit more about how predictive differs from preventative?
Sure. Preventative maintenance has historically been based on really time and mileage, or looking at engine hours. And Pitstop will incorporate a strong preventative schedule, but then also analyze sensor data to understand the real state of the vehicle and any potential failures that may not get caught in preventative maintenance. Rikin, anything to add?
No, certainly. Preventive maintenance is really effective, was really effective in the past. However, with so much data coming into our fleet management teams, we really need to focus on the right equipment and the assets in the field. So predictive maintenance allows you or helps you predict potential subsystem failures that can happen within your fleet. So you can really isolate that, okay, vehicle number 92 may potentially have a brake failure within the next 2 to 3 weeks. So we can, before we assign a new driver or assign the vehicle to a new location, we can have this work looked at within the fleet. So there's several ways our customers looking at this and purposing the solution, but that in essence is a difference between predictive and preventative maintenance.
Sounds like a really great safety feature as well, keeping people from breaking down on the road as much as possible, you know, being able to predict it something. There's another question here that, do fleet managers have to have an analytics background or hire additional IT to help to implement and use the platform?
No, not at all. We find that most of our fleets are able to leverage the platform without any additional staff. We like to say that if you get connected to Pitstop on Monday, you'll automatically see insights by Wednesday, that type of thing. We pull in all the vehicle data in their fleet directly from Geotab. It automatically populates, and they just need to let us know at what frequency they want their alerts. And then we also work with them just to understand the schedule if they want to utilize the preventative maintenance features.
And I'd like to add a little bit to that. The experience for our end users, the Geotab end users, is a single sign-on experience. So they're able to quickly toggle as they're used to with many other Geotab add-ons. So for the user, they're not logging into two different systems. They're working off of their primary Geotab login and Geotab environment. So it's a single sign-on, easy to train and easy to get onboarded with for the end user.
Fantastic. So do you have a way to determine code severity?
Yes, so the code severity for the fault codes and for any alert really is based on our company's experience. So we've hired not only data scientists, but data scientists with automotive backgrounds to look at each code, understand which systems are affected by that code, and assign a level of priority. The other thing that we also do is all of our priorities are Pitstop's suggestion based on our experience. We feel that we have, you know, a pretty good amount of experience, but we allow our fleets to edit the severities if they choose so. So they could override any of our suggestions and save that preference for the future if that code does pop up again.
Okay. Moving on. How does your solution compare to other preventative maintenance providers, for example, TripVision? What would you say is your unique value add?
Yes, I would think, so the main difference between Pitstop and other preventative maintenance solutions is really that predictive piece, the algorithms and the processing of sensor data to understand additional potential breakdowns, and then the ability to combine algorithms and sensor data, alerts, fault codes with their prioritization, and then a preventative maintenance schedule based on time, mileage, or engine hours. All of that combined really provides a unique value compared to having one system that tracks preventative, one system that gives you fault codes with no prioritization, and then, you know, not utilizing your sensor data to understand if a vehicle is likely to break down.
Okay. Kind of ties in nicely as far as like report customization. Am I able to generate custom reports on Pitstop?
You sure are. So we have a variety of reports that come out of the box, and then we can also work with our customers if there's anything that they want. As far as a customized report, we would just, you know, check that we have the data and that we're able to present it in a meaningful manner. One of the ones that people really like to use is we do a vehicle health report to show you which vehicles have the highest risk of having downtime or are causing you the most downtime, so that you can use that in your selection of which vehicles to replace as you're able to get new vehicles.
Okay, and we do have one more question. How do you communicate with maintenance and repair shops?
Sure. There's a few different ways within the platform. If it's someone's in-house shop, we don't charge by the user, so they're able to add as many users as they want to the platform. But then we also have vehicle, what we call health reports, that can either be downloaded as a PDF and shared with your shop, or emailed directly from the system.
And I was mistaken. There is one more question. Somebody slipped one in here. That's awesome. Keep them coming. In your solution, is there any repair guidance for the fault that comes out? They've seen in other systems that they will also provide repair process and parts lists based on fault.
Yeah, that is a great question, and I don't want to give away too much, but we are working on some features that will allow for that in the future.
Very good.
Yeah, I would just like to add a little bit to that, Susan. We are looking at recommendations, next steps, and as you mentioned, insights into inventory that's available. So to let you know, that is something that's going to be coming down soon. Yeah.
Fantastic. More to come. All righty. Well, I think that's a wrap for Pitstop. Thank you both very much.